Life doesn't stop when you're broken. Nobody pauses the world because your heart hurts, your bank account is empty, or your dreams are crumbling. The truth is brutal. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your excuses, your pain, or your tears. They might listen for a second, they might nod their heads, but once you leave the room they forget, and that's reality. But here's the thing, you have two choices: stay a victim or rise as a warrior. When the world ignores your suffering, you have to decide if you'll drown in self-pity or swim harder against the current. Nobody is coming to save you. No mentor, no government, no miracle. It's you against the noise, you against the laziness, you against the weakness inside. And that should fire you up, because if nobody cares, then you are free. Free to grind, free to suffer in silence, free to build something so powerful that the same people who didn't care about your struggles will one day be forced to respect your results. Remember this: tears won't change your future. Discipline will. Nobody cares, so work harder. Pain is the one thing everyone understands, but very few know how to use. Most people run from it, drown in it, or allow it to crush them. When life hits them hard, they collapse, they complain, they cry for sympathy. But sympathy never built empires, and excuses never changed a single man's destiny. The truth is, pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher, your sharpest weapon, your hidden advantage. If you can endure pain without folding, you will develop strength most people will never touch. When you feel pain, it means you are alive. It means your body and soul are reminding you that something must change. You can choose to numb it with distractions, or you can face it and allow it to carve you into someone unrecognizable. Pain is proof that you still have fight left inside you, if you're willing to use it. Think about the strongest people you admire, the ones you look up to, the ones who inspire you. None of them became who they are through comfort, through easy roads, through lives free of struggle. Every single one was broken, rejected, humiliated, or pushed to the edge of giving up. And in that breaking, they discovered a power they didn't know existed. They turned every insult into fuel, every heartbreak into determination, every failure into obsession. They were not born unshakable. They were forged through fire, through suffering, through a constant storm of pain. That storm didn't destroy them. It sharpened them. And when life tried to bury them, they used the weight to grow stronger roots. Pain doesn't discriminate. It visits everyone, but only a few are ruthless enough to weaponize it. You see, when you take pain and flip it into fuel, you no longer need outside motivation. You stop depending on someone to cheer you on, because every scar becomes your own private energy source, that heartbreak that crushed you. You take it to the gym, you take it to your business, you take it into the late night grind when everyone else is sleeping. That failure that embarrassed you, you turn it into an obsession to improve so much that the same people who laughed will have no choice but to watch in silence. Pain creates a hunger inside you that comfort could never spark. Comfort makes you weak, but pain makes you sharp, hungry, unstoppable. That's why it is the most powerful fuel you will ever have. Pain doesn't ask permission, it doesn't arrive politely, and it doesn't care if you're ready. It rips through your life when you least expect it, and most people break under the shock. But if you are strong enough to embrace it, you'll see something different. Pain is pure energy. It is raw, untamed power that you can direct into whatever you want. The problem is not the pain, the problem is how you respond to it. You can let it cripple you, or you can take that exact pain and inject it into your work ethic. You can train harder, build longer, grind deeper, and create with more fire than anyone around you. Pain is not an obstacle. It's the spark that ignites the engine of greatness, if you are bold enough to harness it. The reason most people never rise above average is because they treat pain as a signal to stop, instead of a signal to push further. They feel the burn and think it means quit, when in reality it means growth is happening. They feel rejection and think it means they aren't good enough, when it actually means they are being prepared for something bigger. They cry when life hurts them, when they should be laughing because they now have more fuel than ever before. The harder life hits you, the more energy you have to pour into your mission. That is the mindset of someone unstoppable. Ordinary people collapse under pain. Extraordinary people get addicted to it, addicted to using it as rocket fuel for their grind. That is the difference between the forgotten and the remembered. Most people live their lives ruled by emotion. They wake up and only move if they feel like it. They go to the gym when they feel motivated. They chase goals only when the mood is right. That's why they never win. Emotions are unstable. They shift like the wind. They can be destroyed by one bad day or one harsh word. If you depend on emotions to carry you, you will stay weak forever. Discipline, however, is untouchable. Discipline doesn't ask you if you're tired, if you're sad, or if you feel ready. Discipline says, get up and do it anyway. That is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Your feelings can lie to you, but discipline will always tell the truth. When you build discipline, you build a foundation that storms, heartbreaks, or failures can never break down. The strongest version of you is not the one who acts when it's convenient. It's the one who acts when every cell in your body is screaming to quit. Think about it. Anybody can work when they feel motivated. Anybody can grind when life is exciting, but very few can continue when the fire of motivation dies. That's where greatness is born. Discipline is the ability to do what you must, regardless of how you feel about it in that moment. That's how champions are made. They don't wait for a spark. They don't sit around begging for inspiration. They build habits so strong that emotions become irrelevant. The body goes where the discipline commands, not where the feelings suggest. That is what makes you unstoppable in a world filled with people enslaved to their emotions. Every time you skip work because you don't feel like it, you are training yourself to be weak. You are telling your mind that emotions have the power to control your destiny. And once emotions control you, discipline dies. Imagine if your success, your health, your wealth, your future all depended on how you felt on any given day. You would never build anything lasting. Discipline is the shield that protects your progress from being destroyed by laziness, fear, or temporary sadness. It is not about denying your emotions. It is about refusing to let them decide for you. You can be angry, tired, unmotivated, even broken inside. But if discipline is strong, you will still show up and do the work that takes you forward. There are people who wait for motivation every morning like it's some kind of magic drug, but motivation is temporary and unreliable. It fades the moment things get hard, the moment pain shows up, the moment doubt enters. Discipline doesn't care about those moments. Discipline is showing up at the gym when you're exhausted, sitting down to work when distractions are calling, keeping your word when breaking it would be easier. Discipline is the quiet soldier that wins wars while emotions cry for comfort. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't need the perfect environment. It thrives in silence, in struggle, in the daily grind that others run from. That is why discipline beats emotion every single time. The truth is, discipline builds freedom. People think freedom means doing what you feel, chasing every impulse, following every desire. But that's not freedom. That's slavery to your emotions. True freedom is having the strength to control yourself, to act with purpose no matter how you feel. Discipline gives you power over your future because it ensures progress even on your darkest days. While others fall into patterns of laziness and regret, you move forward step by step because your actions aren't dictated by mood. Success is not about doing what feels good now. It's about doing what will make you unshakable later. That's the gift of discipline. It doesn't just change your schedule. It changes your entire identity into someone who cannot be stopped by feelings, excuses, or weakness. Discipline is the ultimate weapon in a world built on distraction. Everywhere you look, something is trying to pull you away from what matters. Your phone, entertainment, cheap dopamine hits that steal your focus. If you follow emotions, you will chase those distractions every time because they feel good in the moment. But if you follow discipline, you will push them aside, stay locked on your mission, and carve out results that emotions alone could never create. Discipline builds consistency, and consistency builds greatness. You don't need to be the smartest, the most talented, or the most gifted if you are disciplined enough to keep showing up. Over time, discipline crushes talent, it crushes motivation, it crushes every excuse. That's why those who master it rise above the rest and leave behind a legacy that cannot be erased. At the end of the day, life is never going to get easier. You are going to face setbacks, heartbreaks, rejection, pain, and days where you want to give up completely. But that is exactly where the difference is made. The weak allow pain to destroy them. The strong turn pain into fuel. The weak allow emotions to control their actions. The strong let discipline command their destiny. Every scar you carry can either weigh you down or push you forward. Every day you wake up, you are standing at a crossroads. Surrender to feelings or rise through discipline. Drown in suffering or burn it as fuel. Your future will not be built by luck. It will be built by how hard you work when nobody is watching, when nobody cares, when it feels like quitting would be easier. That is where champions are created. So stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for motivation to knock at your door. Build discipline so strong that nothing can shake you. Turn every ounce of pain into fire that lights your path. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to squeeze every drop of potential out of your life. Nobody cares, so work harder. Thank you for listening. Keep grinding, keep fighting, and never give up on yourself. God bless you, stay strong, and I'll see you at the top.